Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and welcome to the Groupchat Wrestling Podcast, where we dive into the wild world of wrestling, the only sport where threatening a child can make you the most beloved face in the business. Join us as we unravel the mysteries of wrestling storylines, analyze jaw-dropping matches, and speculate wildly on who's going to turn heel next. Get ready for a ringside seat to the excitement and absurdity of wrestling with us every week.
Hi guys, welcome to episode 5 of the Groupchat Wrestling Podcast. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm your main host Mike GWP on Twitter. I'll let the hosts introduce themselves.
Hello, I'm Blake, BCX on Twitter. It's good to be back.
Alright, I'm Dov GWP on Twitter.
I'm James, Mankin Mankland on Twitter. I come with the most awful takes and I stand by them.
I'm Rick Flair, Andy. It's not a gotcha. Don't fucking throw that at me. And I should not be fucked with any of you kids today on Twitter.
Start you mean to go on.
Yeah.
I am the American hero of this podcast. On Twitter at that ball bro. Yep, USA.
And I'm Wrestling Mark, and I'd just like to say today is Hulk Hogan's birthday, and I can't emphasize how much I hope he has the worst day possible. I hope he's so miserable, so lonely, so sad. I hope bad things happen to him. But yeah.
I hope he pisses and it hurts.
Fuck Hulk Hogan.
But
Hulk Hogan.
You're not allowed to say that, Mark, because your name is the same as The Undertaker's name. And he's another fucking big MAGA. So you by that, you can't, that's the rules, isn't it? But at least that's what people keep throwing at me.
Fuck Hulk Hogan.
Fuck Hulk Hogan.
Is that going to be the episode title?
No, we already done Fuck Hulk Hogan. That was episode 2.
If I chose to grow hair, I would look like Hulk Hogan. That's why I have a bald head.
Fuck Hulk Hogan part 2.
Genuinely only grows the sides. Been like that since about 30.
That's fucking brilliant.
Or Terry Nuckins, for anyone who knows him. I'd look like him. Him and Hulk Hogan could be twins.
Who's it? Sorry?
Terry Nuckins. You remember him from the Really Wild Show?
Jeez, I don't know.
You're showing your age here, Andy.
If you Google Terry Nuckins,
I'm older than I've watched it. That was on with Michaela Strachan, yeah.
It was, yeah. He's got the same Hulk Hogan do with basically long hair, but basically bald on the top.
My brain's been taking a battering over the years. I remember Michaela Strachan for obvious reasons. Don't remember them.
If you Google Terry Nuckins, there's some fucking dark shit. But anyway.
Right, what's on the agenda?
Right, let's get into this week's questions, and we'll start off with good friend of the podcast, Rich McMullen, at Rich McMullen on Twitter. Top fella, lovely guy. Happy birthday for the other day, by the way, Rich.
Happy belated birthday, fella.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, mate.
And he asked us, what's Mark's real name?
I mean, you just said it. It's Mark.
It's Mark.
There you go.
I was engagement. What's the word? I was engagement farming the other day. My name is actually Wrestling Mark 16. Wrestling is my middle name. My parents' name is 16, and they called me Wrestling. It's a good job. I liked it. I would not let my name get out there.
It's true, though.
I would not let my name get out there based on conversations with other people. Who I might not be particularly fond with even, but when I've spoken to them and they said that people on Twitter have found their work, and then emailed their work and said, you should sack this person. Look what they said on Twitter. So I'm like, I will definitely be keeping it amongst you lot and a couple of other people that I get on well enough with to disclose personal information. But yeah, it's a very boring name. It's a very, very normal name. It's nothing special. It's as interesting as Mark. But I'm going to say slightly better because it's my name. But it's not a great name.
It's Thierry Robert Dennis.
Yeah. I was completely coincidentally named after my 3 favourite Arsenal players. Just 4 Toure. But yeah. Anyway, if that was the question, then Rich, if I'm gonna bump into you at a show, then I will introduce myself as my real name. I'm not going to introduce myself as Wrestling Mark 21 because that will make me a bit of a tit.
You need to get an Arsenal shirt with Wrestling Mark on the back.
Yeah.
Number 16.
Make it your new Twitter profile pic.
Right. Just moving on to the next question. Shit. Loic Dwarf John at Loic Dwarf John on Twitter. Sorry, mate. People are gonna have to start sending in like phonetic ways to say the fucking Twitter names, man. He says, "What if Shane O'Mac?" He says, "What if Shane O'Mac joined the Elite?
Fucking
I'd
hell,
stop
that's
watching AEW."
Match made in heaven.
It depends how it's implemented. Like, if he's gonna come in as the manager, I can kind of deal with that. But if he's gonna be coming in doing fucking 15-minute matches against Daniel Garcia and then picking up the win, then I'm just gonna throw petrol bombs towards Tony Khan's general direction until he gets the idea.
He won't be doing.
Generally, just can't see any upside to it.
He won't be doing matches against Daniel Garcia. He's gone. Did you not hear that last week?
Oh, is it actually confirmed now?
Yeah.
Is it
Well,
full?
even
with the Lucha Bros in NXT.
Even though they've spoke about him on Dynamite heavily every episode since, and did a whole YouTube thing about it, like he's gone, he's done, he's going to NXT Developmental TNA.
To feud with Joe Hendry.
No, Joe Hendry's up to the main roster now. He'll be feuding with whichever no mark name we've never heard of they decide to give TNA.
He'll be doing 20-minute matches with PCO.
Some sources told me it's true, and apparently he didn't show up at the last Dynamite because of whatever.
Who?
Just whatever. That's what Dave Meltzer said. Why the Young Bucks didn't show up? Oh yeah.
Whatever.
You know, whatever.
I heard he drop kicked the door and fucking punched out a wall.
Would have been a better fucking.
I heard he scared a cat as well.
An ugly ass cat.
I don't want Shane McMahon there anyway, not in the Elite. I'd like him in AEW because I think he probably has a few connections and he can shut some of these old cunts up who insist on slagging AEW every day. He probably knows where the bodies are buried or what the young kids who are now grown men.
And he's got no love lost
would say
WWE.
But I just don't think he should be on TV at all, to be honest.
Backstage.
Behind the scenes, I don't care. I'm not going to comment on that. On screen, no. I'm going to stick from the first time this story broke. I got this overwhelming sense of dread about it. I'm like, I don't want it. I said I don't want a McMahon in AEW. Like, and that's not all. Like Vince, yeah, we know Vince is a sexual predator, a bigger, one of the worst human beings you could imagine. It's not to do with that. Like, you're not responsible for your dad's actions. It's a fact for me. The last run he had in WWE, from say, whenever he turned on Miz after that tournament, and he went on that Best of the World run, and from all of that, when he was on screen, off screen, he had all that stuff with Braun Strowman in the cage match at WrestleMania. That was terrible. Everything he did was terrible. The matches, he's a non-wrestler wrestling at 50. They were never going to be good apart from one stunt per match. Every promo he did was just rubbish. There was nothing left in the tank with him. It was not interesting. The energy, the thing that made him quite a likable character on screen was he had bundles of energy. He was quite charismatic. He seemed to have lost all of that. There's no place from an AEW TV. It's a signing for the sake of a signing. The same way they don't do that often. They did it again. Putting Ric Flair on screen again was just for the sake of it. It's Ric Flair. They took the backlash. For me, Shane McMahon is again backstage. I don't care. I'm not going to comment on that. I'm not a businessman. Like ratings, TV, all that shit means nothing to me. But as a viewer, I don't want to see him on screen. He will offer nothing.
Not even for a brief interaction with Christian Cage for obvious reasons.
I mean, the thing is, that's too easy. Yes, that would be. No, that's not how it is. Like that wouldn't be that. It wouldn't like he's. I'm gonna hazard a guess. Got quite a big ego coming from that wealth and that money and that name. I would imagine he's quite cocksure, let's say. So I just think that he wouldn't want to do that. For me, it's just let's just stay away from a McMahon ever being associated with AEW, especially on screen. Just my feelings on it.
I agree. To be honest, because I don't know if you guys heard Dave on about it, but Dave was saying he's been trying to get back to WWE, and he's basically, trying to play people off against each other so he can go back.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, and like if you do get a sniff of that and you're Tony Khan, you've got to just say, "All right, mate, go fuck yourself." Not worth
100%, absolutely.
Not doing another Regal.
No, exactly. Yeah, lesson learned from that. Never again.
Fuck William Regal.
You say the one thing I will give credit to Regal for though is the time he was on screen, he absolutely made the most of it. And I think we all miss his bromance with Excalibur.
Oh, that was
good.
great.
Yes.
That was the highlight.
It was great, but at the end of the day, as Indiana Jones says, I fucking hate snakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Next question. We've got Bash in Berlin at Spheral Toast. One of Dan's mates. He says, "Who, despite their lackluster in ring, makes up for it with incredible promo work? A la Andy's best mate, Joe Hendry."
I'd say CM Punk.
I don't mind Joe Hendry at all. I just think he's. I just don't get it. But like, he seems like a nice fella. I've listened to him on some podcasts. He's used his initiative, hasn't he, to kind of try and make things happen. Unlike someone whose name rhymes with sticky rocks and basically sitting on their ass crying about things and turning down creative. Joe Hendry's actually made some stuff happen.
Yeah.
You know,
I believe in him.
that was a good one, by the way. CM Punk. That's a damn good example.
Yeah, in 2024, Punk.
Yeah. Like, if you look at 2022 Punk, he was sensational. Like, his body of work was great. But if you look at him now, he's gassed 5 minutes in. It looks like he's just phoning it in, going through the motions. But if he's got a mic in his hand, you're listening.
I don't even think it's him phoning it in. I just think it's that, he's 45, 46 years old now, and he's had, couple years of, he's been injury prone. I don't think he's phoning it in. I just don't think he can't go anymore. I mean, let's be honest. Like, it's been a while since he was able to really go at it. He had to. His best match in AEW was a gimmick match. The dog collar match with MJF, but and maybe the last match he did with Samoa Joe. But I don't think it's so much of him phoning it in. I just think at this stage of his career, with all his injury history, I just don't think he could go the way that his body's allowing to him anymore. But my answer for the question, I was gonna say The Miz. The Miz.
It's a great show.
Let me tell you something about. Go back to 2016 Miz. I think it was 2016 2017. It was an episode of Monday Night Raw. It was The Miz, Roman Reigns, and John Cena in the ring. I think when Miz had the Miztourage going on. Dude, he cooked. He cooked both Cena and Reigns in the middle of the ring on Monday Night Raw to the point where he was getting massive babyface cheers. And they were booing the shit out of Cena and Roman out of the building. I mean, say what you want about The Miz in the ring. I mean, it's justifiable that he's quite shit in the ring. But listen, he could cut a promo. I mean, go back to what was it last year? The little brief feud with him and LA Knight. He cooked LA Knight on the mic, honestly, because his LA Knight's ABC nursery rhymes. They couldn't compete with The Miz actual mic skills because when when The Miz is on top of his game with the mic, I think very few can keep up with him in the WWE.
There's a reason MJF got comparisons to him, and as much as people were using it as a gotcha, it's like you can't deny Miz's ability on the mic. Like, he can grip an audience like that.
Can't fucking.
Then he steps through the ropes, and you cease to care.
He's very much a and then the bell rings wrestler.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
he might be the most.
Him, Jey Uso, and LA Knight. Those are the guys that, and then the bell rings.
Yeah.
Jey Uso was the one, and he man fucking.
Nightmares over that Uso WrestleMania match, man. Fucking.
I was about to say the same thing, Gav.
And you think it's going to be a classic? Just
genuinely the worst
of it all,
worst
and then
brother versus brother match
kicks.
ever.
Do you remember that the match was advertised by Dude Wipes?
I do not.
No.
Yeah, the Usos match at WrestleMania, like every match had a different advertiser for each match. Like the Usos was advertised by Dude Wipes.
Yeet.
Perfect.
It's up there with Domino's and the Nick Cage Jericho match.
I think they should hire Nick. I said today, after that GCW stuff came out the other day, I think he should just go and hire Nick Gage and have him on every week and get a partnership going with Pizza Hut, because Domino's are a bunch of fannies. Get Pizza Hut, they'd be well up for it. Pizza Hut, have him slicing everyone every week for that little picture-in-picture moment. Just time it up perfectly, it'd be brilliant.
Yeah, just
And
put him on.
save him getting fucked over by that fucking GCW fucking pedo then.
Put him on Collision. Just put him against a different high flyer every week, and see if any of them can just stop them carving the face open.
Give Hologram a reinforced mask.
I'll give you another one.
Put him against the Beast Martos.
Britt
I think he'd
Baker.
kill him. Oh man,
Oh.
that was mine, man.
Oh.
I'll have to come up with another one. That was going to be mine.
I'm not saying she's shit in the ring.
I'll say she's shit in the ring. She's
She's average.
She's a female
But
Miz.
she does
She's hitting
cook every fucker on the mic.
The one
She's hit
good
and miss.
thing I can say about Britt in ring is she has a good sling blade. And as someone who used a
does.
sling blade as a finisher, I can respect that.
And a hardcore
she-
match is actually good as well. But like a genuine, a normal wrestling match, she's just not that good.
No.
You know what you said?
Throw a table in there, throw some chairs in there. Yeah, it's good.
For most
Oh,
people,
she's
that can be the
female
case.
Nicole.
Most people can thrive in that environment because it can mask any limitations. But
Yeah.
since her match with Thunder Rosa, the Lights Out match, that was a banger. Yeah, that was March 2021. So 3.5 years ago, she's had two matches that have been two singles matches that haven't been badly received. Basically, both of them have been against Chris Statlander, and she gets a good match out of pretty much anyone because she's that good. They're the only two matches she's had that have been
I
received.
will
well,
say
that's
the
all.
Red Velvet match was okay. But just
It was
okay.
alright. I remember that one actually. Yeah, like she's hit and miss. Like she's incredible on the mic, and
Great on mic, yeah.
she does captivate an audience. But I think she needs a really good partner to get a good match. She can't just, you can't just throw in with anyone. Which is why I think she will have a good match with Mercedes, because I think Mercedes is that good, rather than Britt having much to do with it.
Yeah,
I've got another one.
The thing is, Mercedes thrives when she because Mercedes is a brilliant seller, and like again, even though she's the heel, it's still like she spends a lot of the match getting a shit kicked out of her, and that's feasible when she's having matches against, say, someone like Willow, who's like more physically imposing, or someone like Stephanie, who's like genuinely good and is really stiff. But against Britt, it's going to be the dynamic of the match is going to be interesting, because it's who's going to take. Like, is Mercedes going to just beat the shit out of Britt for the 13, 14 minutes? It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
I think the thing with Britt is it's crazy to see how quickly Jamie Hayter surpassed her when she was just meant to be the muscle to help get Britt over.
I think that's more. I think that you give a lot more credit to Jamie Hayter in that. The fact that
she's that
phenomenal.
good.
She's so full.
Yeah.
I think I've said before, like, for me, when Mercedes' contract come up, and when she left, whatever it was, the first thing on my mind was like, we might get a fucking dream match, and that was the dream match.
And she's going to return in 2 weeks at All In. Get in.
We get a Jamie Rave.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just me. I really want Mercedes versus Emi Sakura.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we can get that too.
I want Yuka Sakazaki, but
Not on a random Wednesday though, because people will start crying on Twitter.
Want to pay for it?
that is such a random Wednesday match, though.
People are still
It's
crying.
class. Fucking boss. One thing I will say about
Dynamite,
this.
that's what Dynamite's been. Dynamite's been built on that for 3 years now.
Yeah.
Having
Trying to
really,
explain this to
really good
people.
wrestling matches on free TV. That's why a lot of us watch it, because, granted, we know, I appreciate what I like is not in the majority, because I know people don't like the actual art of wrestling in their wrestling as much, but I do, and that's why I like AEW, because I know there's a chance if I watch 4 hours of AEW over a week on a Wednesday and a Saturday, I'll probably get 3-4 star matches, and that's why I watch it.
Yeah.
I remember a time when we got Sting's debut and Kenny Omega versus John Moxley for the world title in the same fucking night.
Was that Winter Is Coming?
It was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was probably the most fun I've ever had of watching a wrestling show, and I didn't even have to pay for it.
I know, but you bet you were gutted, were you?
Yeah, I was fuming. I was like, yeah, Tony Khan, just take this 20 quid, mate, please. I feel like I'm robbing you here.
He needs it. Give him it. Send him it now so he can buy some new PR.
Just
We got it more back then.
Just dead quick before we move on. Just about Mercedes. That Camille match, when Camille finally breaks away from Mercedes, she's going to make Camille look like a fucking superstar.
Yeah.
When that match
Camille
happens.
can go as well.
Yeah.
She's not useless.
She's gonna bump like fuck for Camille.
Remember when we got remember when we had Wardlow when he broke off from MJF and we got that shit match at Double or Nothing?
Fuck.
It's gonna be what that should have been.
Yeah, the Mercedes and Camille match is gonna be what that match should have been.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I've got one where they're shit at both.
Go on,
Yeah, go on.
Jade Cargill.
Oh.
She's shit
I
at
don't
everything.
think she's that bad on the promo.
She's
I thought
useless
she's-
in ring.
like
Her
Jade, I like
promos. I just think she's terrible, to be honest with you.
She's the problem she would have had if she'd stayed is that her whole gimmick is basically what Mercedes are doing, but Mercedes can actually wrestle,
Yeah.
and that's it.
I've got one anyway.
they
I've
do
got
the
one.
same thing.
I'd compare her more to Chris Statlander, and Chris Statlander can talk, and she's actually good in between the ropes. And WWE obviously don't rate her in between the ropes, or they won't put her in a tag.
No.
match.
We'll probably talk about
a
that
tag
actually,
team.
because that's been a big thing this week. Fucking hell.
Oh yeah, because she's got 0 minutes since she's been there. Because she's fucking shit.
She wouldn't get a Premier League medal with them minutes.
Fucking
I don't think she'd have even started for City in the 90s, to be honest. I think she'd have still been on the
fucking
bench.
I'd have started for City in the 90s and I'm fat and a cripple, lad.
my one of these is going to sound harsh because it is slightly harsh, but it's more because of how good I think he is on the mic on his promos. Daddy Magic.
No, literally, I was just
Nah,
about
he's
to say
gone,
before
right?
that, Andy. Daddy Magic is the one, yeah.
He's probably what top 5 promo in wrestling.
He's probably the one
Elite.
person who benefited from JAS.
He's the top
Yeah.
5 promo in wrestling for me, and he's just all right in the ring. He's nothing special.
Average as fucking in the ring, yeah. Like,
He'll start a promo by making you piss yourself laughing talking about his nipples, and then he'll just go and talk about the most serious shit.
It's the intensity he has. He reminds me of Macho Man, the way he delivers his
Yo,
promos.
that's a shout, you know.
He's got this real intensity in his eyes and in his voice, and he's looking through you. He's looking through the camera directly at you, and he just grips you. You're like an
Yeah,
attractive
his
being when
delivery
he's
for it
talking.
as well. He's actually unreal, isn't he?
He really
Never was a strike before the promo.
and he's great on commentary as well.
Yeah, he really is.
What was the question
Right,
again?
Wrestlers who shit in ring but great on the mic.
Right.
mine was Daddy Magic. Andy got there before me.
No, he's not. No one going to pick Saraya's brother. He's shit at both. Sorry.
Yeah, he's another Jade Cargill.
You could pick Saraya.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, she used to be good in the ring. I think when they used to be good in the ring, I think you could take it away because you could say something about Jericho.
I don't think she was good at the ring. It was just everyone else was so dramatic.
So bad.
She looked good.
Yeah, maybe.
a brother-
Maybe
Yeah,
you're right.
back in them days in WWE, yeah, it was generally the quality wasn't there, was it?
A brother
was
wishes
Like
he
being the
was
best looking bird in the burn unit.
Yeah, Kelly,
Yeah,
Kelly, for example.
His
Hey,
brother's
don't
just ripping
don't
off.
slack on Kelly, mate. Let's leave
My
her
brother's
out of
just
this.
ripping off fucking Delia Smith, isn't he? That's his fucking go-to line. Let's be having you. Fuck off, mate.
Yeah, where are you?
Do you know what?
Does he even
If-
wrestle? Has he even had any of his shows him? Like, did he do Rampage or whatever? I've never actually seen one of his matches.
He did
Just
when he was
Rampage,
having this. He was having a feud with what's
Daddy
his face,
Magic.
wasn't he? Yeah.
No,
the
the other one.
Cool
No,
Hand.
don't worry, Dav. You'll be seeing him in 2 weeks, lad.
And his promos were fucking atrocious. He would literally just scream into the fucking camera and say, "Let's be having you," and it's like, what the fuck is this?
Do you know what it
And the
reminded
scary
me
thing
of?
is Delia Smith.
No, do you remember when Brock Lesnar first started and he used to do that scream after he'd throw someone? Like the really
that was
high
weird,
pitched one.
yeah. That was weird.
Which Brock Lesnar, the real one, or the fucking new Brock Lesnar with the tattoos? What's his
Nah,
face?
the real one.
The one who was
Right.
fucking dog shit. Yeah, he was fucking awful.
Oh, no aura. Like Jake
You know what?
the levels of aura. Nothing to him.
He couldn't have even got a hat over though, that cunt. Do you see that he was doing a fucking wrestling fucking clinic?
Yeah. Who the fuck's paying for that?
Basically, whatever I do the opposite and you'll succeed. Fuck that. I'm not
Yeah.
paying attention to him.
The only one worse than him was the other fucker that was in the Mogul embassy with him. I can't even
Oh, he
remember
was all
what
the
the name
fucking
was.
face tats.
Yeah, he was the only one worse than Parker Boudreaux or Boudreaux.
Fucking
whatever
Tom
you call him.
McDonald.
Oh shit, he did look like Tom McDonald.
Yeah, probably bad.
Oh,
I know it's not Halloween yet, lads, as well, but I'll give you something that's going to really, really fucking send the fucking willies up here. Fucking Sarai's brother has been tweeting that he wants a match at All In.
Yeah, that's right. Then you'll see him in 2
Not
weeks.
even on the pre-show. No,
He's going to be in that gauntlet match.
He'll be in that gauntlet match. And
He better
we'll get.
Sabian's got to be the pointless one in that, not him.
As long as he gets fucking thrown out within fucking 5 seconds.
But it's not, is it? It's you saying it, don't you? It's one pinfall to a death.
Yeah, fucking hell. So that means as long as
Sabian's got like not being rude to Kip Sabian, but like I mean, I sound bad. I don't want to see him. I don't care about him. He means nothing to me. But bring him in. Do not bring Sarai's brother in because that means he'll be on the card ahead of a lot of people that won't make it. Like say top flight private party that have been there for a long time that deserve it a lot more than him. That would be a travesty if he comes out there. That would be way too much like pandering from Tony Khan and not reading the fact that we Brits don't care that much about English people that much to the same extent. We're not going to go crazy for like even Kip Sabian. It will be a polite reaction if he comes out. Oh yeah, he's from here. Yeah, cool. And then no one's going to give a shit.
When Osprey comes out or Jamie Hayter.
If you're going to do the British guy, you do Pac, don't you?
Yeah, you do Pac because Pac will get a mad pop because we missed him last year.
Yeah, Pac deserves it.
But people need to realise that the patriotism isn't really there that they may think there is. I mean, you've seen MJF's tweet today where he says, "I'm in the land of where there's neo-Nazis roaming the streets," and people are just responding, going, "Yeah, I know, yeah, it is."
When he said that at the show tonight, and the crowd like cheered when he said Pac. Like, yeah, you know, realistically, very few people in an English wrestling crowd are going to be far right fascists. Honestly, I popped a little bit when he said that.
I think most people would rather see Penelope Ford come back than Kip.
Yeah.
If I want to see a British dude do a bad Peaky Blinders impression, I'd rather see Anthony Ogogo.
Yeah. My God, it's bad. Yeah, definitely.
He's another one I want to keep away.
You know what? I don't mind Anthony with Shane Taylor. He's okay.
Leave him in the anti-vax rallies where he belongs.
Christ. Next question then, boys. And I think we've got a podcast-wired answer for this one. If you were to make a gimmick title, what would it be?
Lucha Belt.
The Lucha Belt?
Lucha Belt, yeah.
Get all those fuckers flying around and get me off my seat.
And
I'd make the meat title. You have to be over £300.
Nah, just get the luchas, man. Just let them have fun. 2 hours just watching luchas fly around. I'd be happy.
I don't know if you've seen
a lucha show at this point. Like,
yeah. Set Rampage off, just call it AEW Lucha.
Yeah, just give us a title for hologram.
I don't know if you've seen that episode yet, James, but literally that's all we want on this podcast, the Lucha division.
I can respect that.
And fucking throw the bag at the Lucha Bros. Why are you letting them leave? You stupid.
Ray Phoenix just gives so many good singles matches whenever Penta's injured. Like, I always look back to his match with Kenny Omega for the title.
New Year Dash. No, yeah. New Year. What's it called? You know what I mean? The AEW New Year Smash.
The matches always felt pointless, though. That was the problem because they're a tag team and they're just taking a couple, break out for the singles match. It never felt like there was any real importance to it. They were great matches.
But they never really had an important tag team run because Tony Khan didn't know how to book them.
I don't know. They did have a good run when they had what was it? What was the cage match? Was it 20?
All Out 2021.
That's one of the best.
But that's 3 years ago.
Oh yeah, but I mean, like at the end of the day, they've had a lot of injuries and visa issues.
What I think didn't help them as well. They were one of the only teams that had a bad match with FTR, but I think that was more on the fault of FTR than the Lucha Bros.
If you're asking me, which one's
Lucha Bros thing is going off. I think Penta wants to go to WWE because he's pretty much 40 now, and Phoenix is just following him more than like the want to leave. I think Penta thinks I'm going to try at least WWE once in my career.
Yeah, that's what Dave said, wasn't it? Like,
I mean, I can't blame him for wanting the bag.
No,
I don't even think it's the bag though, because he probably get the same bag in AEW.
He's probably getting the bag already.
I'm sure it's only a match. Like they'll probably get a cut of the merch though. And if AEW had a merch department that was worth anything, you'd be selling fucking shitloads of them Lucha Brothers masks.
I do reckon Penta's matches are going to be like Chop, Zero Miedo, Chop, Zero Miedo.
Well, they're going to water him down like fuck.
I think
you can though, can't you? They can go there, work 50% of what they do now, and still be over as fuck. It's easy, man.
Bro, just let the dream.
I've said it a million times. WWE is a TV show about wrestling. AEW is a wrestling show.
Penta's had a dream from when he was a young child, and I can't remember where I read this, so I might have made it up. But anyway, he's had a dream since when he was a young child of being the Speed champion, and I think that's going to happen.
Oh, good.
I knew a punchline would come in.
Listen,
I hope they take that fucking Alex Abrahantes with him in though as well, because he's fucking does my head in.
Oh, please,
man, please, yeah. And his stupid fucking gloves.
No, the only thing that annoys me is he distracts from their entrance because of his stupid fucking dancing. And when he came out looking like a goth Undertaker.
Yeah, let him leave and get fucking Jose back.
Do you know what?
Yes.
He's going to NXT. He keeps tweeting.
No.
Yeah,
No, I don't think he's going to NXT. I think he's just taking the piss because he was he was in Russia's promo video from like 3 days ago.
Yeah, and he's kind of winking, and then he's doing his next whatever. His
but I think that's just a bluff.
I think he's taking the piss.
I think he's already signed. I think he's already signed back to AEW. I just think they're waiting to pull the trigger on showing.
I don't think so, because I think the LFI are done. I think it's Don Callis family all the way for him now.
I don't think.
I was shocked with how rich Jose is.
Yeah, Jose can go in the ring as well.
Yeah,
they just never showed it.
He's had a lot of injuries, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I don't think they're done with LFI. I just think Tony needs to figure out what to fucking do with Mexicans.
Andrade leaving didn't help.
No, because they'd already sacked Andrade off from LFI, but they never give a clear reason as to why. I feel LFI with Rush as the main guy is quality. Tony needs to figure out something to do something with them. Like, put them in a trios match or send them after the tag titles. Because FTR versus Young Bucks every other fucking month is shit. And the Acclaimed are terrible as well.
I don't get why they're getting pushed so much, because they're shit and they're not even getting good reactions all the time.
They need to go off TV for a bit and then fucking bring them back in like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
I'm sick of seeing it.
I think it's like it feels stale, but I think it's because they do get half decent ratings, and that's the problem they're in at the moment. Whereas, like, if you stick Top Flight on, which you should do, the TV audience won't take to them as well as, because they've not been introduced, because they've been off TV for so long. And it's such a shame, because if you remember, there was a time when Dante Martin was on TV every week, and he was putting on a hell of a. He was facing everybody, and he was showing up other people with how good he was.
When Darius was injured.
Yeah, and then when
Darius got injured, and I think that fucked them up, didn't
he? He did. They put him back, there was a bag one. Was it at the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, I think?
That table spot.
So horrible.
We need to see them on TV more, so the crowd, so the TV audience can be more bothered about them, so they can be actually be like, oh fuck, I've seen these a few times. These are good. This is going to be great, and actually be invested in it. Which we talked about this a few weeks ago, but they basically just need to start drip feed us more of these guys and get them back in, so we're not relying on 3 tag teams again. Because it's just
give us more of the outrunners.
Yeah,
I hope All In's not a triple threat match though, with the FTR Acclaimed and the Young Bucks.
It's gonna be. It's building up.
It's gonna be.
I think it's gonna be. But they're already doing out the trios title.
They're not gonna do 2. They won't do 2. They can make. There could be something big this week after that match. There could, like, don't rule out like Motor City Machine Guns rocking up like still in AEW. I reckon it'll be a 4-way for the tags and a 3-way for the trios. That's the only way. They can't do FTR Bucks.
I don't think they're going to do 2 3-ways.
They can't do 2 3-ways. That's so lazy. I think it'll be. I reckon. I genuinely think, and I'll manifest this like I did the Casino Gauntlet. They'll do a Stadium Stampede 3-way for the trios, and they'll have a 4-way tag match, and they'll throw one more tag team in. I don't know. They might even fucking throw, like, I don't know, something will happen with the tag team, I think.
Dustin and Sammy, I can see them throwing in.
Who, sorry?
No,
I can see him throwing in Dustin Rhodes and Sammy as much as.
That's so depressing. Stick Rush and Beast Mortis in there. Put them in.
Yeah. Yes. That is the answer. Rush and Beast Mortis.
Or I don't know, because Top Flight or I don't know what we're gonna have on the pre-show, but they had like 4 matches last year. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really make sense to have a match on there, qualifier match on the pre-show, but they've got 4 shows to sort that out. Like, I imagine the Bucks are going to retain. I think like it should not be FTR Bucks again, even with the stipulation. It just feels too desperate to revisit that again.
It's too soon to revisit it for me.
Like,
which of
the tag
Russian
teams is
Realistico?
See, that's not a bad one.
Because Realistico would be so fucking fun in that match.
But
listen, listen, just put the Outrunners in there and it solves all the problems. Okay?
Oh yeah.
Just listen. Though you got to push your great young talent. You got to put the Outrunners out there.
Who was the Ring of Honor tag team?
The Kingdom.
Yeah, no. The guys the Kingdom beat. He was doing all them cool vignettes and shit.
Oh, the infantry.
The Righteous. You could throw them in. The tag team division is so dead.
But that's the problem, though. They've not been on TV. None of the other tag teams have been on TV to get any real exposure to the point where now you're suggesting who can we throw in, and it's ones that most of the audience probably won't give a fuck about.
That's why I think
it's so good.
That's why it's if you have got Motor City Machine Guns, which I still don't think is impossible. They're still scheduled. They've still got independent dates in September. They haven't pulled out of yet. So that and like as soon as like the Luchas have already pulled out of their dates. Stephanie pulled out of her dates the minute she left CMLL, like immediately, like the same day it all came through. So that's not impossible. If not, again, it's a bit of a basic home pot, but like get the Grizzly Drunk veterans in and have them as the 4th team. They're good.
Get Air Country in there.
There's not enough. There's not enough time to build someone up.
That's the problem. Like in terms of the wider audience, they don't care, and that's the problem because
all the
focus.
That'd be so that'd some flavour to fucking tag team division.
But he signed Billington, and so maybe he'll do the British Bulldogs. But I still think that won't be. They haven't got the exposure you'd need for it because they've put so much. They basically the only tag teams that have gotten any decent exposure over the last 6 months is the Young Bucks, FTR, and the Acclaimed, and that's why we're stuck in this fucking. You know, people throw out the fucking Jericho vortex. This is the fucking vortex. The tag team vortex. It's fucking dead. It's like a graveyard.
It'll make no sense, but fuck it. Put Pac and Hologram in there.
That makes no sense.
Tell Phoenix to tell his brother to go fuck himself and have Phoenix and Pac. That's what he needs to do.
Pac could be a really
no,
good
listen,
tag team
before Phoenix leaves... Before Phoenix leaves, we need that one-on-one Phoenix and hologram match.
Yes.
Here's one. What about we have the new British Bulldogs, and instead of Billington, it's Sarai's brother and Kip Sabian.
Pac and a Go-Go.
Oh God, no! Sarai's brother and Go-Go. That's literally the worst tag team you could possibly come up with. Anyone would have gone.
I had someone suggest earlier that the fucking casino, whatever the fuck it is, the Gauntlet match should be on the pre-show. I was like, what the fuck?
That match could have so many pops. That match could be like literally. I mean, it could end up being really predictable, and it could end up being everyone we know. But realistically, it's not impossible. You could see Shelton Benjamin in that. You could see Bobby Lashley in that. You could see Kenny Omega in that. There's so many possibilities in that match. I'm looking forward to that nearly as much as anything. I think now.
Kenny Omega. Yeah, it's a fucking one.
No, Kenny's not going to be fit.
He wouldn't have to do that much if he came in. You know, towards the end.
Nah, I don't think. You think you'd show him, but you don't actually do anything with him.
There's so many possibilities for that match. There are so many possibilities.
You could do Gabe Kidd, Takeshita, Mystico, a few others.
In fact, you could showcase your international partnership talent.
Yeah.
It depends how many people they want. Like, I'm going to have a little look now because I'm not sure how many people usually get out in that match. I think it's about 8 or 9 that. Like, because I mean, it gets to like 13, 14, and when it's for the title, like a title show, that becomes a bit too much of a spot fest for that many people.
I think it'll be a bit longer on the pay-per-view, though. You look at 10 or 12, I'd probably say.
I'm just having a look to see how many people have been.
I think no one
had Claudio, Hedgehog, Jay White, Leo Rush, Mystico, Orange Cassidy, Pac, Umino, and so there was 9 at the last one, and there was one before, weren't there? Do you remember the first one was back at Jacksonville, wasn't it?
Yeah.
February
one.
Austria one. So let me have a look in his cage match record. I do use cage match a lot, as much abuse as I get for using it all the time. I do go to this website a lot. Fucking great. Cage match is amazing. Just for this kind of stuff, like just when would it have been? That was Jacksonville was around here, wasn't it? So it would have been. Here we are. Ospreay, Dante Martin, Jay Lethal, Jay White, Commander, Kyle O'Reilly, Lancer. There was 8 in one and 9 in the other. So let's say push. I think you can have 10 or 11 this time.
I say 10 would be perfect.
Yeah.
So
just let me get this in there. Just because I forgot before. That question was from Part-Time Blank at Part-Time Blank on Twitter. Sorry, forgot to give you a shout out before.
I got it now.
Yeah, so 10. So say you have then a couple of surprises. You're gonna have Mox in there, I think, aren't you?
He's winning it.
Yeah, no, probably.
Him, Danielson for All Out. I don't even think he'll main event it, but I think it makes sense.
Is he got a match with Jarrett?
He's gonna him and Jarrett's gonna happen. I'm 100%. They're gonna do a death match between those two. We'll have a casino gauntlet. We'll have a stadium stampede. We'll have a death match. I reckon.
Is that when Taylor Swift comes out and hits Hangman over the head with the guitar?
When who?
Taylor Swift, Jarrett's baby.
Her and Jarrett are best mates.
Yeah. I seen someone suggested it might happen, and I was like, nah, not a chance. But if you totally can, and you're spending money on any free agents, save it all up. Pay for about 5 minutes, or not even that, 50 seconds, and you'll get more views on the product. Yeah.
Do we reckon Hangman gives her a buckshot?
Oh, fucking amazing!
That'd break the internet, you know.
It really would.
It'd become the biggest heel ever.
It would be the most viewed thing in the history of the world.
He'd
all them
get death threats
under the AEW posts. Fucking hell.
The thing is, like, he would get death threats.
Yeah.
People want to kill him.
MJF would do.
MJF would 100% do.
MJF would not give a fuck. He would give it a fucking tiger driver. Okay. Going to introduce a new segment to the podcast this week. Well, it's the same old stuff that you love us for, but we've given a name now. This is the Soapbox Rant. Right. So this week we're going to introduce a new segment to the podcast. Well, I say new segment, it's what you love us all for, but we've given a name now. This is the Soapbox Rant. To make it unique to us, our boy Mark's got a stopwatch out. Each host that wants to go is going to get 2 minutes to get a rant out. First up this week, we got Andy.
And when you hear the buzzer, that's time up. And the buzzer is fuck the Tories.
Hey. Can't wait to Shall I go then, yeah?
Ready, set, go.
Yeah, basically just all the miserable cunts on fucking Twitter who seem to hate everything about life. Their lives are so fucking sad that they're determined to make everybody else hate everything about their life. You can't enjoy something and then go on Twitter the next day because everyone's telling you why you're fucking wrong and why they're right. They're a bunch of hipster little cunts sniffing their own farts, thinking they're the art fun. And it's a fucking joke. They ruin it for people. I've had people fucking message me saying, I'm struggling to enjoy wrestling anymore because I come on Twitter and people are fucking ruining it for me. They're telling me why this was bad and why that was bad. And it's like it does bleed through to people. People start soaking that up themselves and start to actually the views change and they start to believe what people are telling them. It's like the Emperor's New Clothes across Twitter. Someone says MJF's shit and all of a sudden he is shit and he's clearly not. It's the fucking best thing in wrestling. So all the miserable cunts on Twitter, go fuck yourself. Shut the fuck up. Let people have fun. Let people enjoy stuff. And fuck the Tories. And I'll fucking get that one done earlier there for you, Mark. You can stop your stopwatch now.
Oh, that was bang on 1 minute as well. So anyone else want to take over and do a minute rant carrying on from that?
Mine was the same as Andy. I'm with Andy here. Like, it's just Twitter's just a fucking weird place at the moment.
It's
especially
horrible.
AEW fans lately. And the majority of them anyway. Any little things getting blew out of proportion with Tony Khan can't book, blah, blah, the show's dying, blah, blah. It's like, fucking hell. Everyone just needs to cheer up a bit.
Well, where are all the big players? Like Powerhouse Hobbs, Wardlow, Garcia? Where are they?
They're all gone, mate.
That was one today, wasn't it? Powerhouse Hobbs is injured, you fucking morons. Wardlow's shit, and Garcia's got a fake injury.
And Miro's moved back to fucking Bulgaria because his fucking last dumped him or whatever it was. I don't know.
Yeah, he's playing fucking
hell.
Call of Duty in fucking Sofia.
Can't say no sweeter than that, boys.
It's very
Anyone
much.
else?
Can I just throw this in, Mike? If that's all right. It's very much. Yeah. If you say something loud enough and often enough, people think it's the truth, and that's very much what happens with Twitter. That look, this is my subjective opinion, but AEW's only had one run comparable to what it's on right now, and I know the ratings are down, but as Meltzer's reiterated, it's not down over the 5 years the way Cable's down. Could it be better? Absolutely. Are people consuming things in different ways? 100%. The same with the shows like Collision was great last night. I go on and you've got Job or you've got the usual lot that will sit there and start banging a drum saying it's shit. People will then think it's shit without watching it, and that's just word of mouth the way it goes. It does happen with AEW. Like I know Tony Khan gets a lot of shit for the stuff he says because the way he says it, you make himself an easy target. But at the same time, there's an element of truth to it because things happen. The weird hashtags always happen. The way these bots happen, like whenever I do a status to certain, like I did an anti-Hulk Hogan one earlier. A lot of shit underneath it. 99% of the people underneath it, their account is either from July 2024 or August 2024. They'll say some abusive, some obnoxious shit. That account will be deleted soon. They are bots. There's no way this is just constant humans doing this all the time. AEW do fight upstream with this. I don't think there's any debate in that. And again, the more people are loud and negative on Twitter, the more it catches on. The more people that just watch WWE that don't really care about AEW, they'll jump on that bandwagon and they'll badmouth it. And then that toxicity and that negativity just spreads further and further. And it's got so much worse since AEW got good again.
Yeah.
The hashtags one is one that wrecks me head, mate. You try and tweet while you're watching Dynamite and it's Dynamite and it's like, where the fuck is that coming from?
Yeah.
How is that the hashtag?
And it's not there now. It's not there now. If I go and if I try and write a tweet now, it will be Dynamite. But I get to 3 hours before showtime on a Wednesday, and it's Dynamite.
People have suggested it's Musk, like because of the deal. I don't think it's that. I wouldn't go that far. I'm not that much of a tinfoil.
It's paid bots that are tweeting the fake hashtag.
100%. That's exactly what it is.
I think another thing about the AEW fan base is their favorite wrestler's not getting showtime. Or he's on TV, so they go and attack a wrestler they think is taking up
time.
He's taking up that time. Whereas, if they actually just watch the TV show and watch the product, they'll understand that this is actually really fucking good right now. Your wrestler might not be there. Like my favorite wrestler's not wrestling right now. He's fucking injured, but the product right now is really fucking good, and there's no point.
I mean,
umming and ahhing about it because you're not going to change no cunt's mind. Just watch the product and shut the fuck up.
The one that gets me is the no stories. We still get that no stories. There's too many fucking stories.
Like, mate, pay fucking attention.
And people today are saying like, oh, she the Mercedes. Why they just thrown out there? Why can't they build a story? Because Mercedes is already in a fucking story, and Sheeda's not. And if you just don't want Sheeda on TV, then fair enough. But everyone else is in stories. There's stories all over the shop. If your idea is that you can't have a one-off match because somebody's not in a story and the other person isn't a story, then all we're going to do is go back to 1991 WWF superstars and have 3-minute matches against fucking shit jobbers who look like Harry Kane.
And
then only good matches and fucking pay-per-views again. That's it. That's all. That's what we'll go back to.
How do people expect 5 hours of TV a week? Like that's the idea. You build to pay-per-views. TV, like go back to the Attitude Era. I mean, you'd turn on you'd turn on a Friday if you're in England because that was the first time you could fucking watch the thing. But you turn it on and you had no idea about any matches. Nothing was announced, and there's a good chance they were winging it on the day. They're just headbangers are it. Like just go out there and fight. There were no stories to most of the matches. It's TV. You're building to pay-per-views. You can't. It's illogical. Like I don't watch WWE all the time, but I stick on Raw occasionally because I find Raw quite enjoyable. Most of the matches, of course, they haven't got build to them because why would they? It's TV. They have a pay-per-view every 4 weeks. That's what they build towards. You don't build towards your fucking TV shows. She just cut a promo on Mercedes. That more than suffices for them to have a TV match. It's beyond stupid, and it's people being as loud as possible to cause as much disharmony as possible, and it works.
It's wrestling. It's not fucking EastEnders. Do you know what I mean? Wrestling should be the focal point of this, not fucking people arguing in a pub.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I've got something that winds me up, but please give me a timer because otherwise I will talk for 20 minutes on this.
You got a 2-minute rant, yeah?
Yep, that'll do.
All right, 5, 4. Oh, fuck it, just go.
So it's the doom and gloom that comes from the tiniest little botch or when a finish doesn't go exactly the way it's planned, and people will let it ruin their entire enjoyment of a match. When I was watching Dynamite, there was the hologram match where he did the little roll up at the end, and the sequence looked a little bit slow, and everyone was talking like the match was shit, and it's like, no, the match was great. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed the match, and I didn't even notice that finish was slow until I saw people talking about it on Twitter. And even if you look back further, Winter is Coming 2021, the barbed wire death match with the little explosion, that was all anyone spoke about for weeks. Yeah, Kenny and John Moxley probably put on my favourite match of that year, and it was on free TV, but no one was talking about it. And I don't understand how this one little shit thing can ruin the entire experience for someone. It's like, say you have the greatest day at work, you've got a pay rise, you've got a bonus, because you tripped over your shoelaces, you're not going to go on the day with shit. Like, it was still a good day. You still came out with more money than what you had previously. And it is the most frustrating thing. Because to me, I don't care if there's a botch. If there's a botch, that means people are passionate about what they're doing and they're trying to make it the best ever. Because some botches will come from people doing crazy spots like the Edge spot. And all he wanted to do was put on a show for the fans. Granted, he broke his leg. Didn't go that well. Wish him a speedy recovery. But it seems wrestlers will do anything to appease the fans, but they will never be happy if there's the slightest little mishap. And that's me.
That was perfectly timed, bang on 2 minutes. So I didn't need to interrupt you there. Personally, if I can jump in, I mean, I agree. But again, it's very much, you look at the trends on Twitter and the stuff that generates most traction is negativity. And so it's just an easy thing to do, isn't it? It's just what people do. If people want to get to 2,000 likes, most of the time it's going to be at the expense of something else. It's going to be something that's negative. Like, even there's just most things that do well on Twitter are negativity because it breeds so easily.
Yeah.
Twitter paying people has ruined the IWC. Like, because the amount of accounts now that are just saying stuff just so it'll get likes.
100%.
It's ridiculous.
Engagement farming is fucking shite.
Yeah.
And they're not even funny like me and Mark, so you know what I mean?
I agree with everything he said there, though. Like, it's miserable cunts just fucking taking one thing. But as Mark said, that's across the board, isn't it? You know, you see it with footy. You know, people will bring out one clip of a player and be like, "Oh, he's dog shit. Look at this. He slipped on his ass," and they won't fucking show you anything else. They didn't do that.
Still mad about Gerrard.
If Pele, I've seen everything, mate. It's fine. If Pele was around when we had fucking Twitter, there'd be fucking clips of him fucking slicing shots all over the shop.
When we were for those of us grew up in the 90s, how many superstar names were there? Like, who was around for the 1994 World Cup here to watch that?
Yeah.
I was one.
I was
you and Andy probably don't need to get involved. Mate, how many big names were there? There was fucking Romario, Georgie Hadji, Hristo Stoichkov, Roberto Baggio, all these superstar names, because all we saw was the clips of their best bits.
Yeah.
Now you look around at footballers around the world. How many superstar players are there? There's Mbappe, who's realistically kind of overrated anyway, and no one else has that aura anymore because we see them for all their warts and all every single week. We realise these players aren't just a 30-yard volley top bins like we used to see back then. Like, players don't have the same aura because they are human and they do make mistakes. And it's very much the same with wrestling. Like CM Punk, John Cena, like when I first got back into wrestling, my mate had been watching it. I said, what's the match I should watch? Like, tell me, like, what WWE, like, what have they done in the last 20 years? And he said that match. And I watched it and there were like four or five like semi-botches in there. Because it's a CM Punk match. Of course there's a botch in there. It's a Punk match. But there were 4 or 5 very untidy bits. But it didn't take away from the spectacle at all. It kind of added to it, if anything, because it made it more, because there was so much on the line that day. There was so much, it meant so much. And those kind of sloppy moments kind of added to the brawl element of it, I suppose, or the desperation to win. Like highlighting a botch. Yeah, I've done it with Punk a few times, but it's tongue in cheek. Like it must feel so shit for a wrestler to botch on live TV, knowing there's so many people watching. It must be the worst feeling, let alone go on Twitter and then some pricks retweeted it and it's taking the absolute piss out of you. It's it must make you feel pretty small.
Yeah,
it's always the ropes fault, don't it? It's because AEW's ropes, isn't it? That's the only reason anyone watches these days.
Damn ropes.
The one thing
when Jade botched and everyone blamed the ropes, and then Damian Priest botched, and everyone's like, "Yeah, it's them AEW ropes." It's like, where the fuck has that come from?
it's just mad, isn't it?
I agree what you say though there about the small things, because it reminds me of like whenever there's a bang of Dynamite, and then you'll have like, you know, the learning tree segments or something. And people on Twitter will be like, "Oh, ruined it. Show's over. Waste of time. Turn it off. Going home." It's like, it's fucking 2 minutes at most.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't like the learning tree shit, but I did like those 2 weeks where his "bye guys" was getting more and more unhinged. The more he was trying to kill Samoa Joe.
Because I liked the learning tree stuff up until it became basically Mr. Tumble. And now it's like he's a children's TV presenter, and it's too like it was better when he was more serious, and he was like,
it could have been humorous, but very dark at the same time. That was the angle they should have gone. Very true. It's a real sinister, dark side there, but it's just gone. It's just gone tits up. It's not good.
Too humorous now.
I feel the problem with Jericho is he had such success with the Inner Circle, and he's tried to replicate it twice. But
the problem, I think the problem with Jericho is that like he's a draw, and you can't take him off TV, and that's the problem they've had. Like, I mean, he needs time off TV, and like I don't believe like people throw around that he's demanding he's on TV because, you know, like he takes the piss out of. It's the fact that he does take out a lot of the dead zones when you look at the ratings and the double ad breaks, and you can't throw a young lad who needs to gain exposure now, because it can kill them. Yeah, it can completely ruin them if they're image and ratings. So Jericho, being a name everyone knows, takes them spots and tries to hold what he can. And it's just, I just hope it's only until we get this fucking deal signed off, boxed off, and then they can write them off TV for a while, because it's just there. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't necessarily think it's terrible. I just think it's there, and it's just, there's no point of it now. I've got no interest in seeing a rematch with Hook. I've got no interest in seeing a 3-on-3. It's just.
Oh, we're getting that 3-on-3.
I don't know, are we? Because his fingers broke. I was hoping we'd just get Big Bill and fucking Brian Keith against Hook and fucking Shibata, because is Samoa Joe still filming?
He is.
Like,
I
know Jericho's doing Fozzy the night before, but he's got a broken finger, hasn't he? Can he wrestle? Like,
hope not.
If we don't get that trios match, I'll be very, very surprised, and it won't be on the pre-show either. That match, I still imagine, is a staple for that show.
It needs to be on the pre-show.
It'll be on the pre-show if it's just Big Bill and Brian Keith.
Has Jericho ever been on a pre-show?
No, that's what I mean. If it's just Big Bill and Brian Keith, it'll be on the pre-show.
Absolutely, yeah, too right.
But then again, he's going to be managing, so they'll probably want him on the main card because I'm sure he'll be in the corner. And it's just exposure again. It's just that thing, because as much as people can be tired with the current gimmick, he's well known, isn't he? You know, it's a big name. It's something that they're going to want on the posters and stuff. I hope not. Like, I'd love to see him just fucking miss it.
Oh, Marco, you want to start the timer for me?
Are you ready for a rant?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, sir.
All right, so Brett, your time to rant. Your 2 minutes starts right about now.
MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. The hate that this man is getting on a weekly basis is fucking ridiculous, and not even on a good level. What MJF is giving us wrestling fans now is a pure, full-blooded, no love whatsoever, a full-on heel. He's not giving you any dancing, any lines to follow along, like yeet or yeah or anything like that. No, put your one fingers in the air, acknowledge me. None of that. He is a old school, bare bones, hate me for everything that I am. He's a full blown heel. That's what he is. He's not a cool heel like a Razor Ramon or Kevin Nash or NWO was back in the day. He is a full blown heel. For those of you who want the old school ways back, who want the Attitude Era back, but then we'll look at what MJF is doing. on the mic, his heel persona, I don't think that's what you want. I don't think you have baby ears, you're too soft to deal with his presentation. Maybe that's the problem. But I think a lot of you fans are just the biggest tryhards right now when it comes to the MJF hate. It is mind-baffling. But the worst criticism of MJF is he's mid. He's not a good wrestler. Are you out of your motherfucking minds? In a 2-year span, MJF has put on maybe the greatest dog collar match of all time with CM Punk at Revolution 2022. Last year at Revolution 2023, maybe the greatest Iron Man match of all time against Bryan Danielson. And then last month, maybe the greatest Dynamite match of all time, a 1-hour masterclass with Will Ospreay in the ring. And then
fuck the Tories.
Yeah, fuck that's the time. But yeah, you're MJF haters, you're the biggest fucking tryhards out there. Like, be original and get out of this fucking phase. It's embarrassing.
I vote that we give Brett another 2 minutes.
I'm not going to argue. Brett, keep going.
Oh, you want to give me another 2 minutes? I could give you a totally different topic.
Go on then. Let's go.
All right, count me down.
All right. You know what? Just go for it. I won't interrupt you, bro. Go.
All right. Jade motherfucking Cargill. Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill. I know we all saw the tweet from Air Gold. Her 4 singles matches that she has had in her WWE run so far this year is a little over 10 minutes. Her final match in AEW against Chris Statlander was just a few seconds less than that in that one match. Now, for all the WWE stands that when Jade Cargill signed with WWE a year ago, said, oh, they got to get the AEW out of her. She's going to get the proper training. She's straight to the moon. She's going to be a mega star. WWE's booking, Triple H's booking of her shows that they do not trust her to do one-on-one matches with the top-tier talent. They do not trust her to do a promo. She hasn't even cut a promo yet. For all the faults that we give Tony Khan with his booking over the years, you know what he did better than Triple H? He booked Jade Cargill like a star. He was not afraid to put Jade Cargill out there every week in one-on-one matches. He was not afraid to put a microphone in her hand, let cut promos. Why is Jade not being given those opportunities? You want to know why? Because they saw a lot what we saw, that, yeah, the presentation is great, but besides that, you know, in ring-wise, she's not there yet. And on the mic, she's okay, but she's not $1 million like her presentation is. She had Bryan Danielson train her in AEW. And she's she has taken a step back under WWE training and tutelage. So please, WWE stands, tell me, why is she not a step above and beyond what she was in AEW? And before anyone says, oh, it's only been a year, if I hear WWE stands call Mercedes Moné a failure for only being in AEW for 5 months, I can say that Jade is a failure for WWE for almost a year. That's my time.
That was excellent.
That was
fantastic.
Do you feel revitalized for getting that off your chest?
Yeah, man, I feel good. Man.
One thing I really thought about when you mentioned about fans wanting the Attitude Era, I don't think they want the Attitude Era back.
Half of them didn't even watch the Attitude Era. They bang on about wanting it back. And if they did watch it, and I've rewatched some of it recently, they'd realise how cringe it is. Some of it was
We all complain about too much blood in fucking AEW.
I know, yeah.
Like,
fucking hell.
I mean, did they not used to watch Triple H in the Attitude Era? Fuck me. That guy was why I loved the Crimson Mask.
Did they not watch fucking Mae Young give birth to a hand? Storylines. I'm hoping the fucking Angelo Parker and Ruby Soho's baby is a hand.
Well, getting back on track, Jade Cargill's just really shit.
Yeah.
Jade Cargill's just really shit. Triple H doesn't trust her. WWE didn't trust her. She's regressed in her wrestling. She gets barely any time. She can't cut a promo. She's fucking useless, but she's getting loads of money, so fair play.
As much as people...
like, you know what? I think it's a bit to be balanced there. Look, she's not good in the ring, and I know there were a lot of issues that she loses her timings and her positioning, and you do I did notice that in AEW, but she does have a presence. There is a star power about her, which is why she suits WWE better. Like,
yeah, she looks like a fucking star, but like her wrestling's not very good, and she was trained by one of the best of all time.
Go to like WWE's golden periods in the Attitude Era. Very few on that roster were very good in the ring. I mean, they weren't actively terrible, but the vast majority, they were not good wrestlers. It was a very, very mediocre roster. The golden era, you go back before they brought in like, I mean, I suppose like going back to, I know it's a different era so much so, but WrestleMania 2, you take Steamboat and you take Savage off those cards, and it was not good wrestlers. No. WWE don't care if you're a good wrestler or not. That's an added bonus to being a WWE superstar. Being a good wrestler is an added bonus to whatever else they see in you that is going to make you marketable, mainly to children, and just on a scale that we can put you on TV each week, and you alone is going to be enough. It's not going to matter how good you are bell to bell. Again, if you can wrestle like Dragunov or Gunther, that's a massive bonus.
Yeah, but you have to compare both eras of who was booking it. One of them knew how to book stars, and his name shall not be spoken. The other doesn't know how to book stars. He's just rehashing what Vince did. Oh fuck! I said his name. Everything that's good about WWE is literally what his name did. There
is more nuance. There's more like little subliminal. Basically the one thing I'd say now is, especially on Raw, there's far less insult in my intelligence than there used to be. That's the one thing they can, look, I'm not saying, look, it's still not like, again, when I watch it, like, I do understand why it's so universally appealing to people. I get it. For me and what I like at my age, with me being me, Dynamite is just a vastly superior show on every level apart from the production values. Everything else about Dynamite I think is better. But that's just me. I'm not gonna sit here and say that's subjective, because it's not. I can't remember my fucking point now. But he's not. You're right, because obviously the bloodline is carried on, but Vince McMahon wouldn't have dealt with the bloodline as well as Triple H has. It wouldn't have had the good Sami Zayn stuff. It wouldn't have had, like, again, Roman Reigns return to, like, again, that's the biggest superstar face return for however long over there. Like, I think Triple H is massively overrated. I think Tony Khan's had a much, much better 2024 than him, but I think he is a significant upgrade on the last decade of Vince McMahon.
Are all the bloodline stuff's Heyman anyway?
It's fine.
Is it?
Yeah, most of it's Heyman.
That does make sense, to be fair.
We have a lot of criticisms for Tony Khan, but one of the biggest for me is that he doesn't, I've said this before, like, but he doesn't know how to pivot if things don't go right, and he sticks to his plan usually. And that was the big issue with Jade, which is why we had Jade as a champion for like 27 years. When Stat was injured, he should have just changed plans and put the belt on somebody else, because towards the end of that run, the TBS title was just a waste. It wasn't even worth watching half the time.
Oh, 100%.
It was just like giving, feeding Jet. I mean,
until she lost that,
they fed her Athena, and she just fucking squashed her essentially.
Until she lost the title, there was not one time you thought she might lose today.
No, not at all. No. Who's next anyway? What's the next round?
I've got one. Anyone else want to go?
Well, I've got one, but it's short and sweet.
Go ahead, Blake.
Tony Khan needs to figure out the fucking tag division, because it's shit. It's really fucking shit. I'm sick of seeing the same three tag teams every week.
Can I throw in my 2 cents on this very quickly? I won't waffle on for too long. Yes. Last year, biggest issues for me with AEW, and this time last year, I thought it was a fucking shit show with the bookings to pay-per-views and the women's division. Two things, they haven't just been rectified in 2024. They've been two of the highlights of AEW in 2024. They have made every pay-per-view has had a really, really strong build, and the women's division has gone from being such a frustrating afterthought to being something that is very much at least up there. Like, there's so many of the women that I want to see over most of the men now, and they've listened to those issues. Again, the tag and trios division has been a real contentious point on Twitter recently. People criticizing it, rightly so, because what the Bucks haven't defended the title. Their last 2 title reigns, the only time they defended it is when they lost it last time, not defended it in 3 months of being champions now. And the trios division, again, it's just been a real afterthought for a while. And that's been people talking about that on Twitter for the last couple of weeks. And Collision yesterday, felt like it had more effort put into both those divisions than the previous month had before. So I do think Twitter does have an impact on how things are done in AEW. I think people do read stuff, and I think they do take it on board because, again, I think the proof's in the pudding with it that they probably have people that are terminally online. And I think the more we moan about the trios in the tag division, the more chance there is that they are going to start highlighting it. If they go on and see thousands of people whipping up, talking about it, and then if it crosses paths with people like Sean Ross Sapp or Ebro or someone else that has a lot of a following, those things do have an impact on AEW. I'm sure of it. I'm sure TK's online a lot. I'm sure Washington probably spends a lot of time online. It wouldn't surprise me if they have got a couple of burners out there that get quite involved to see what people are thinking as well.
Saying that TK is online a lot is an understatement. I mean, listen, I think like half of us here have had a tweet liked by Tony Khan, if I'm correct.
He tends to like my tweets at the end of a show. Whenever I do like a summary shoot, like that was a fucking great show, love that. He likes that within 5 minutes. As soon as the show's off air, he goes on Twitter and sees what's saying.
So you know what, that confirms my theory about Wrestling Mark. Remember the higher power in the Attitude Era?
Yes,
that's Wrestling Mark. He's the higher power of AEW. It was me, TK. It was me all along.
He is like the only time he ever likes my tweets. He's done it quite a lot of times. I don't know, over the last 2 years, I don't know, 40 times. It's only ever straight after a Dynamite or a Collision when I've said something positive about it. He's always one of the first to like it. So it goes off air. He shakes everyone's hands in there, straight on his phone, send his tweet that he's already written in the draft saying what a fantastic show it was. Then he'll scroll the timeline and see what's there. And I know a lot of other people get it as well, but I don't know if anyone else had a tweet here that he's liked a random one during the week, or if it's just a positive one with the hashtag for Collision or Dynamite.
Yeah, here. He's done it.
He liked when I did obsessing over when Sting made his debut.
He doesn't fucking like any man, the miserable bastard. He's one of them.
I'm still waiting for my leg up Tony Khan.
Oh, same.
I'm Mariah May, if she's listening.
I've had a Mariah May like, so catch it.
I've had a few. She used to when she was a face. She used to if you tweeted about her during the show, she would retweet it. She retweeted me about it, but I didn't. At first, I was like, oh, amazing. Then after like the 7th time, I realised, she's doing it to every fucking person that's done something during the show. And now she's a heel. She won't do that, I don't think.
I think she'll still like it if you compliment her.
Yeah, if you were gooning or something like that, she'd retweet it.
I've tried, boys.
Mark, how do you think I got my like?
Wasn't your like just pure thirst though?
Yep, mine was pure first. I wear that badge in honor. I've got a screenshot on my phone.
It's your wallpaper.
He's screaming now.
My wallpaper's my car, actually. Fuck off.
Who's next?
Right, I'm going to go, boys. If that's all right. Right.
Go for it.
So, mine's a bit of a mad one. This was meant to be a question, but I missed it. So I'll give the geezer a shout out here. It's Esteban Combat Club, and his art is Estebandido RR. Sorry, mate, I butchered your name there. And he wants a rant about fed-pilled fans praising Logan Paul's moonsault as if it's something you don't see every Friday at Arena Mexico with one of these in your hand, and he's posted a picture of some sort of cocktail, I assume. So, right, I'm going to go. Do you want to time me in, Mark?
All right, on your marks, get set, go.
Red-pilled fans are fucking idiots. That's the thesis right there. They sit there and go mad over Logan Paul doing shit we see every week on Collision. If they actually bothered to sit down and watch a Commander, a Vikingo, CMLL guys, the countless guys in AEW, just culture yourselves, man. It's not that hard. Like we understand you like WWE and that's your thing and that's fine. But look outside the bubble. Culture yourselves. That's the difference I find with a lot of AEW fans compared to WWE fans. AEW fans will go and culture themselves and will go and watch CMLL, go watch New Japan. Even if it's not every week, even if you're not sitting there watching every episode of the G1 Climax, you're following it, you're seeing it, you know what I mean? Like, I was out, this will sum it up perfectly, As you know, I was at a wedding last week. I was talking to one of my boys who hasn't watched wrestling for 20 years, doesn't know what AEW is, but he's a big film guy. So he said to me, he said, sell me on AEW, mate. I said, WWE is Fast and Furious. AEW is the Raid. And that's the difference to me. AEW is gritty, it's raw, it's love for the craft, and not just big pomp and circumstance. If you like pomp and circumstance, that's fine. Go watch The Fed. Go watch Roman Reigns. Go watch people who are 7 out of 10 in the ring every week. But they'll give you moments and they'll give you shit you can chant and all that rubbish. Over here, we want to watch the great wrestlers, the 9 out of 10s, the 10 out of 10s every week. Just culture yourselves, man. And that's me rant.
Oh, yeah, you're done. Yeah, sorry, under 2 minutes. Well done. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Fuck the Tories. I just said anyway.
Fuck the Tories.
Tories.
Fuck the Tories.
And I think that's the perfect time to cut that there, boys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stuff. My battery's gonna fucking go on my headset in a minute.
Thank you for joining us for another great week of the Group Chat Wrestling Podcast. Thank you for our special guest.
Cheers for having us, boys. Appreciate it.
Cheers, fella.
Cheers, mate.
Dan's gonna have a lot of work with this one, you know.
See you later and have a good week.
See you later. Good luck,
Cheers,
Dan.
fellas.
Bye, guys.